This is Bertie, who for many years has been one of my absolute favourite dogs in the world. Hey buddy. Yes, hello. It's good to see you. So I've known him for a good few years, and he's just randomly come out to visit and inspect my camper. Haven't you, buddy? I think he approves. Yes, it's good to see you. You can go in if you want. It turned out Bertie did want to come in. Have a sniff. You trying to find my snacks? Yeah, you're a funny boy. He does suit this camper. So I've discovered a little bit of a problem now that I'm here. And it's this. Bertie has decided to live under the camper van. And the trouble is, he just gets absolutely covered in engine oil and grease. Which means if he goes inside, all of my auntie's nice interior is going to get covered in all of this. So we're going to have to wash him, and we think what we're going to have to do is put chicken wire or something around the bottom of the van to stop him going under there. Okay, so earlier this evening I went off for a walk, which I'm still currently on, with the instructions of how to get down to the beach. I said it'd be about 1.5 miles. I've probably been walking for 6 miles or more. Found some interesting discoveries earlier, but I have no idea where I am. There's no signs anywhere. There are signs that say like footpath this way, but it doesn't actually say to where, anywhere in particular. So I'm not really sure where I am, and I'm not even sure which direction I should be going to go home. I've only lived in South Wales for about 9 hours. And I'm lost. When I discover campers like this, it suddenly makes my one look like a bit less of a project. Got some fairly spooked cattle. I won't lie, I'm completely lost, but I found this unbelievably stunning old farmhouse. I've just come into the other field to look at this farmhouse. I mean, it's beautiful. There's an old wall along here. It's a shame that it would make a nice little cottage. Okay, so I've been walking for about a couple of hours or so, and I eventually found a road I actually recognised, and I'm back now. So I don't know how many miles I walked, but yeah, I'm certainly ready to go to bed. Good morning to everyone. So after last night's trek getting lost in the Welsh wilderness, I made it back at about 11:30 I think it was, and I was pretty much straight to sleep. So today it's pouring with rain. Something I was warned about with Wales. It tends to be one extreme to the other. So I do need to put my tent up, because in here it's just so cluttered with all the stuff that needs to be installed. It would be impractical trying to work in here with it filled with all the stuff. So I need to put the tent up so I can empty it, so this is a nice clear space, and I can also use the vehicle to commute to town if I need to get materials and things. And I have also discovered in this rain a leak. So there is a leak coming through the window somewhere. I have put loads of sealer around here, but obviously needs a bit more, and I've just put a towel down the bottom here just to catch the worst of it. So next time we get some dry weather, I'll go round and make sure I do this a lot more thoroughly. However, on the other window I did, it seems to be bone dry, so I obviously got that one right. So in the grand scheme of things today, I haven't been overly productive, but in my defence, it's been my birthday today, so I turned 31. And my aunt and Uncle Al took me to the most incredible Spanish food, like tapas place. It was like the best food I've had in a long time. You know, I think any restaurant now has a challenge to be as good as that. But the weather's dried up and it has cooled down. For me, this is the perfect kind of temperature. It's nearly 9 o'clock. This is the kind of perfect working temperature for me. So I'm actually just going to shift some of the heavy appliances out of the camper and put them into storage. And I did succeed in putting my tent up today. Let's see. Oi! What's all this barking, huh? What's all this barking about? You've already been in here a couple of times and you tried to eat my bananas. Right, so I've set up the inside of the tent and started moving the stuff out from the camper van. It's like a sauna in there at the moment. It's a shame that it's not in the shade, but never mind. So apart from clearing out the camper, I've actually started sealing off the windows from where the leaks are. Now, this is when I attempted doing the sealing before and it was pretty rough, but I seem to be getting the knack of it now because this window I've sealed off and I've done a much neater job with it. So it's not perfect, but never mind. I thought I'd show you guys the sliding door. So I'm going to be sealing the inside of the window as well. I've done the outside of this one, but this is one of the areas that I haven't actually touched at all. So this is part of the original interior design, which I think is pretty ghastly, to be honest. And it's going to be coming off. It's like this kind of sticky paper stuff. The inside used to be covered in it. So I'm going to remove all of this and come up with a plan of how I can decorate this door in the future. Okay, so I've pulled off most of this interior lining, just got a little bit left to go. It's reminding me of when I first started working on this camper's interior. It's all of this kind of like rubbery, extremely sticky stuff that they put everywhere, and it's really not easy to get rid of. It's this horrible stuff. Amazingly, there's spiders, or the remains of spiders, that were living behind it. I don't know how on earth they navigated their way across this because it's so sticky. But this last bit's coming off quite easy, but I can't say the rest of it was quite as easy as this. Oh, there it goes. Bertie, I've put the fence up to stop you coming in, because you cause havoc wherever you go, my friend. Don't look at me like that. Okay, so I've insulated these two parts, which are basically going to be the cubicle for the shower and toilet. So I might just jump in the deep end and start trying to put it together. Right, this is the toilet that I'm going to be using. So this is what's called a cassette toilet, generally favoured today. Instead of recycling a chemical like the old ones do when you do the flush, it's got a freshwater flush each time, and it fills up a sump in the bottom which you can access and pull out. So the toilet, once it's in, it stays where it is, and the actual bowl itself rotates, so you can change the angle depending on what kind of space you're trying to fit it in. So what I'm trying to do is going to be very small. Typically what you do with the cassette toilet is you'd cut a hole in the side of the van so you access it from the outside, but because of the curvature of the side of this van being at this angle, unlike modern ones which tend to be quite straight, it could be quite challenging. It also doesn't go right up against the edge, just because of the way that the shape of the van is designed. So what I'm thinking is I could actually have the toilet facing the other way and have the cassette come out through the wall, so you can literally just lean through the door and pull it out that way, and that will probably save hours and hours and hours of work trying to cut a hole in the side of my van. Okay, so I've started cutting out the shape that the bathroom's going to be. Instead of having a right angle here, I've opted for a bit of a kind of slant there, because there's going to be a right angle here where the kitchen units are, and I just feel if you've got a right angle ending about here and one here, it's just going to be a very narrow gap, so aesthetically it wouldn't look very nice. So it's going to be tight in there to have a shower too, but it's got to be only this far over, because otherwise I won't be able to fit lengthways. That is just about 6 foot, and I'm just under 6 foot, so I'd rather struggle in the shower than struggle to sleep. Well, a lot of progress has been made on the toilet and shower cubicle. It's actually starting to look like a thing now. The cubicle, a friend of mine actually asked me have I been following some kind of guide? But the answer is no. I mean, I've looked at lots of pictures of what people have done with their vans and things, but just kind of make it up as I go along. Kind of think, well, I want the door roughly to be about here, so put in a strut and then attach it to the wall and just, just make it up. And I've also begun what will be the overhead storage along here, which is attached to the frame of what will be the bathroom. So this is very far off from being done, but one of the things I've done here, so move that out of the way, this downright here is screwed in through the bottom, and it's also screwed through there, and I've put the very strong glue on either side as well, and then this baton here is actually screwed to the metal. So I need to make sure I don't screw through the single skin metal, because that goes outside and that will cause leaks. But in the actual framework, which is hollow, you can screw into that and it's nice and strong. So this will be the base of what will be the overhead storage. And then I thought if I attached it to this, the shower block, but had a downright that will be load bearing all the way to the ground, then that will be nice and strong. We have to use a bit of imagination here because it's difficult to kind of show exactly how things are going to be when they're not actually done. But in this cubicle, for example, there'll be enough room to sit on the toilet, plenty of room for my knees, I can have the door closed, and then when I want to stand up, I can just revolve the toilet seat this way, and then stand up, and then I've got plenty of headroom to shower, plenty of room to stand here and wash myself. So, and as I said, these toilets are designed for the water just to fall on top of, and it just drains off because it's all plastic and all self-contained. Along the side here at the bottom, the toilet will be attached, and there will be a door here which will all be nice and wooden cladded just like the rest of it. So when this sump is actually full, all you have to do is open the door, reach in, pull the cassette out, empty it, and then put it back in, so the toilet itself never has to move, so it can all be nice and sealed, so it's watertight and everything.